Hello guys, I know it's been a long time, but here we are with a new video today, and this is actually this video is a part of a series in which I will try to teach you a few things. And okay, this first part of the series is going to be very easy. I will do it specifically for especially for people who just got into chess. So what I mean is that they probably don't know each and every rule. This is the kind of people that the video will be addressing, and then next videos, it will be I will be showing harder stuff. So if even if you are a beginner, maybe this video you probably already know, because I'm gonna show the rules. But maybe, I don't know, if you don't know some rule, or if you're not sure about one thing, maybe you should actually watch this one. We will learn all the basics about chess. And right now I'm on chess.com's homepage, and I will just go to learn and analysis. So we've got the board in front of us, the chessboard and the pieces. So I will start from the very beginning. Even if you have no idea how to play, I guess that's even better, than you're at the right place. So we will start with the pieces. Of course, these are the pawns. As you can see, every player has 8 pawns. Then we've got the rooks in the corner, the knights, the bishops, here the queen, and the king, of course. So now we know the pieces. In case you didn't know, of course. And what you may notice in this chessboard, in this board, is that we do have the coordinates too. Maybe it's not very obvious, but here you can see the letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. And you can also see some numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I will tell you what's going on with these coordinates in just a second. One thing I want you to know is that of course if you flip the board, then the coordinates are it's the opposite. You start with the 8, let's say, and the 8 is on the bottom. Just wanted to show you this one real quick. And something else you need to know when you're setting up the chessboard. Okay, it's not very hard to memorize the position of every other piece, but the king and the queen, usually they misplace. They put the king here and the queen in the other square. They put them in the wrong places. So a simple rule that you need to remember is that you just need to put your queen to the same color as it is. So if you have white pieces, put your queen to the white square. If you've got black pieces, you want to put your queen to the black square. And okay, that's pretty much it. And something else, I told you about the coordinates. Okay, it's very easy now to name each and every square. So starting with this one, we've got we're starting with the letters. So we've got A1 square, now B1, C1, and it goes on, D1, E1, etc. And if you get up, you've got A2, A3. So you can easily, for example, see that this square is D4 square. This one is the F5 square, and I don't think that I have to tell you more about that. So now you also know the name of each square. That's great. Okay, let's see what else do we need to know. Okay, so we've got we also have the files and ranks. So we've got the A file, B file, C file, D file, and so on. And we also have first rank, second rank, third rank, and so on. And if I want to set up a position, actually I don't really have to. Let's say that I want to show you how the pawns move real quick. So on this starting rank, you can just move the pawns. When the pawns are on the second rank and seventh rank, you can just move them one square or two. You can decide. But let's say that when the pawn is here, you can just move it one square. Only on this rank you can move it two squares when it hasn't really moved. So now you can do this, and please notice that I can't really take this pawn if I want to. It won't let me because this is not how the pawns capture. The pawns capture diagonally. That's our first weird feature, let's say, of that we will see today. The pawns can only capture diagonally. So let's say that I play this move, then my opponent has the right to capture. Of course, capture is not mandatory in chess. If you want, you can take. If you don't want to take, you can play a random move. That's fine. So we saw what the pawns can do, and one characteristic about the pawns is that they can't really go backwards. So if you move a pawn, you have to be very responsible, you know, because you can't go back. So you need to be really careful when moving the pawns. And let's go to the knights. So let's say that we do have a knight. The knight is moving like this, like an L. What I like to say, it's like 1, 2 and turn. That's how you will never forget how the knight moves. Just 1, 2 and turn, 1, 2 and turn. And you can also go backwards, 1, 2 and turn. This is easy. Or as I said, it's like an L, but I think that this is harder for a beginner to remember, because sometimes, you know, the L is kinda reverted. I don't know how to say it, but you get me. It's probably easier 1, 2 and turn, or yeah, now in this case it's 1 and you go 2, but maybe it's easier like this, 1, 2 and turn. I don't know. Anyway, you know how the knight moves. It can go forward, it can also go backwards. That's natural movement. The pawn can only go forward, I remind you. And now we've got the bishops. So as you can see, the knights can actually jump. Even if there are some pieces here, the knights can jump. Every other piece can't really do that. So in order to move your other pieces, you need to move some pawns. I'm making random moves. And the bishop is only go diagonally. The bishop is only going diagonally, so so let's say that we've got this, and we will also move the other bishops. This is nonsense. I'm just playing the moves so that you see how the bishops are moving. And we've got the dark squared bishops and the light squared bishops. So you've got to be careful. For example, if you lose one of your bishops, let's say this one, now your light squared control is significantly weaker, but we will talk about that later. This is just a characteristic I wanted to mention. So yeah, the bishops can only control half of the board. which is really crucial and really interesting at the same time. To know that your bishop can't really go to the opposite color of squares. Okay, so we learned that one. And now we will go for the rook. What I will do now, don't do that in your games, and what I also did earlier, you don't have to do it because it's bad. I'm just doing it in order to show you how the pieces are moving. So the rooks can go like this, you see. I guess it's the simplest movement, and they can also go backwards, but at this moment it's blocked. My rook is blocked by its own pieces, so it can't really go backwards. But let's say that this was empty space, then it could make this move. Alright. So you see they can go right, left, forward and backward. Yes, there's another terminology, but I'm not the best English speaker. Excuse me about that one. Alright, so we've got this movement for the rooks, pretty simple. They can go forward, they can go backward, they can do whatever they want. They can go as many squares as they want. I forgot to mention that one for the bishop, but it can go as many squares as it wants. The knight can only do this movement, the bishop can go as many squares as it wants. So yeah, I don't have to say that again, you get it. And now we will go for the queens. So let's say that we've got the queens. As you can see, the queen can go. The queen is basically like a rook and a bishop combined. So it can go diagonally, but it can also go this way. You know, it combines the movement of the bishop and the rook. Something like that. You can go as many squares as you wish. The only thing you can't do is doing this L movement. Only the knight can do that. 1, 2 and turn, you know. This L movement only the knight is capable of. And now we've got to see what the king can do. So the king is basically like the queen, but it can only go one square. I can't really move it too many squares. Alright, so basically we know what the pieces do, but wait a minute, do we know how to play the game? How do we win? Do you know? Do you know how are we going to win? I guess we don't. So let's try to find out. So the best, actually, the way to win in this game is to achieve a checkmate. And what's that? What is a checkmate? First of all, let me show you what is a check. So let's say we've got this one. Black's king is under attack, and this is what we call a check. Black's king is under attack, and this is a check. So we've got this check, and black can't really play whatever because the king is in check. What does that mean is that they either have to move their king, which is not the best here, or they have to block, and they can also take if they can do so. In this particular position they can't really take the piece which is attacking their king. So yeah, they've got when your king is in check, you have to look for 3 ways to avoid it. Capture the piece, block the check, or move your king. You can also block with some other moves. Alright, so that's pretty much it about this check. What you need to remember about the check is that your opponent can escape. So if your opponent can escape the threat, this is just a check. The checkmate is same threat, but your opponent can't escape. So let's say that we do this. I'm playing now really bad moves for black just in order to show you. This is a checkmate, because black king is attacked by white's queen, and they can't block the check because the queen is too close, so they can't really block the check. They can't take the queen because it's defended by the bishop, and they can't move away because the path is controlled by the queen. You know, these two squares, the path is covered by the queen. So this is a checkmate when we've got a check and our opponent can't really escape, and this is how we win the game, by the way. So now we know what's the purpose of this game. It's checkmate. Okay, so we know that, but wait a minute, there's something else we need to know. Okay, let me go to the analysis once again. So we're here. Oh, excuse me, wrong button. So let's clear everything, and let's say that we've got this position, which is okay, this is a very regular mistake that you can probably see a lot. Okay, white is on the move. Yeah, I made it right. So yeah, white is on the move, and what we need to be careful is that we want to go for the checkmate. As I said, the king has to be in check, so this is the checkmate. Okay, this sign, I guess it means that white is winning in this website. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So what I wanted to show you is that this is a checkmate. What you need to avoid is situations like this. This is different than checkmate, and okay, let's see. The king can't really escape because white's queen is controlling everything, but there's a problem for white. The king is not in check, so black, it's black's turn, but black can't do anything. They don't have any legal moves on the board, and this is called stalemate, not checkmate. This is called stalemate, and this is actually a draw. It's not even a win for white. So when you're going for checkmate, you need to attack your opponent's king. Very important. Don't want to go for the stalemate because it's draw. Alright, I think that you get what I said. It's not really hard to find out. Of course, it doesn't matter that it's just the king. For example, let me show you another example. Let's say that we've also got some other pieces. Of course, I can put the king whenever I want to. Just need to make sure that black doesn't have any legal moves. Okay, so let's say that I will make it really spicy. Alright, let's say that this is the position, it's white's turn, and white is going to play this. Okay, now you can see that this is a draw. Each player is getting half a point in a draw. And yeah, this is a draw. Why? Because black doesn't have any legal moves. For those who are confused, black is going this way with their pawns, and white is going this way. So something I didn't mention, but I will mention, I will say right now. White is always promoting to 8, and black is always promoting to 1. So that's a quick way to see when the pawns are going, you know, to realize if the pawns are going this way or the other way. So black doesn't have any moves. Black's knight is trapped, and this is a stalemate. I guess you got it. You get the idea now. And now let's go to the 3 special moves we have to see. Okay, so before I get to the other stuff, let's see the value of the pieces. I didn't really say that. So we've got the pawns. The pawns are the weakest. They are just worth 1 point. Let's say that every piece worth some points. So the pawns are worth only 1 point. The knight worth 3 points, and the bishop is same as the knight, so 3 points too for the bishop. Rook worth 5 points, queen 9 points, and the king, let's say it's unlimited points. I mean, if you checkmate, then it's over. So you can't really say that the king worth points. It can't get captured. It's just the checkmate, you know, that decides the game. So the most valuable piece is the queen. After, you know, defending your king, of course, you don't want to keep your queen and get mated. You would rather sacrifice your queen in order to avoid mate. Alright. So with some quick maths, we can see, for example, that a rook and a pawn is equal to a knight and bishop. For example, 2 rooks equals 1 queen and a pawn. You can 1 pawn and a queen. You can play with stuff like this, so that you're like, okay, is it worth trading my queen for knight and rook? Well, usually no, because it's 9 points and rook is 5, knight is 3. So it's 9 points for 8. Yeah, if you do the math, 9 is bigger than 8. So you don't really... This is not a favorable trade, let's say. Alright. So now that we know this stuff, we will go to these special moves that I mentioned earlier. So let's say, for example, that we've got a position like this, and we've got this move. So first of all, this is called castle. This move where the king goes 2 squares to the side, and you can also okay, let me play some really bad moves. Okay, actually they're not that bad. Just wanted to show you something. You can also go to the other side. Okay, it's black's turn. You can also go to the other side if you want to. Just need to remember about this move. In order, first of all, it's 2 squares to the side, and then the rook is coming next to the king. So 2 squares to the side, the rook is coming next to the king. This is called short castle. This is long castle for obvious reasons. It's this side is longer distance for the rook. The king is the same, don't forget that one. King is 2 squares. And what you need to know about this move, you can only castle if your king hasn't moved earlier. So if I do this, for example, now I can't castle. As you can see, it will not let me castle because my king has moved. So we shouldn't move our king if we want to make to castle. What else we have to do? We also shouldn't move our rook. For example, now we can't really castle. What we can do, we can castle on the other side because this rook is unmoved. So we can castle on this side for sure. And something else we need to be careful, to be aware of, let's say, is, for example, let's say that I'm doing this. Okay, let me play some random moves here. C6, bishop c4. Okay, now you know the name of the squares, so I can tell you the moves. Queen h4. This is a check. Right on time when white was going to castle, there's a check. On the check you can't reply with castle. You have to move your king or block, or take the piece if possible, you know. Just avoid the check. So when you're in check, you can't castle immediately. You need to do something else and then you can castle. But there is also one more thing you need to be aware of. For example, let's say this. Okay, this was a bad move, but I just wanted to show you something. Your king is still, your king is not in the check, but you still cannot castle because what you need to know is that this, when you're about to castle, let's say that these squares shouldn't be controlled by the opponent, because your king is going to cross, let's say, to get across these squares, so they shouldn't be controlled by the opponent. So now the opponent controls this square, you can't really castle. Yeah, unfortunately. On the other hand, if your opponent is just controlling this square, then you are free to castle, but only if it's just this square. For example, if it's, let's say, also these two squares, of course you still cannot castle. I hope I made it clear when you can castle and when you can't. Okay, this is maybe a little bit hard to understand, but of course, if you have any question, if you find anything hard to understand, I don't know, maybe you can just ask me in the comments. I will try to reply, of course. This is a guide. I will always try to provide you with some help, this is a video I'm making for you guys, not for me. Alright, so we learned the first special move, which is the castle. Until now, let's go to the analysis board so that we will be able to learn the second special move, which is called promotion, and it's very simple move. Alright, let's put kings here, and let's say it's white to play. So when you have the pawn on this penultimate square of the file, and you're trying to go to the last square, this is called promotion, because basically you're promoting your pawn to one of these pieces. Of course, you can't have two kings, and you can't go here and leave it as a pawn. You need to promote to something, and as we learned, the queen is the most valuable piece, so you need to usually you need to promote to a queen. Of course, the opponent can do the same. Okay, in this specific position, now it doesn't really matter what they are going to promote to, because there's this motif. When you're promoting on the edges, then your opponent can take you. And what we need to know is that, okay, in most of the cases you need to promote to a queen, but maybe in some examples you need to maybe in some positions you need to under promote. Let me show you what that means. So for example, let's say we're here, and we've got a pawn. Alright, it's white's turn. If white is going to promote to a queen, then this is draw because of the stalemate. We learned what stalemate is. So white has to promote to a rook, has to under promote to a rook, so that black's king does have this square. Okay, this is slightly difficult, but I'm going to show you something like this from times to times, just in order to get used to these things. So yeah, under promotion is also a thing. but it's rare. Usually you want to promote to a queen. Alright, so we've got castle, we've got promotion, and let's get to the last special move, which is called en passant, and it's probably something French. This name, let's say. I guess it's French. This en passant. And alright, yeah, I tried to do the accent. Maybe I'm not that good at it. And let's see what it is. So in order to do this special move, you have to push your pawn to the, just need to cross the middle of the board. The middle of the board, you have to cross the middle of the board with your pawn, and then when your opponent pushes one pawn next to it, you can take it like it. It's like they went here. You can just take it. Same thing exactly. So yeah, this is a thing. This is a thing you can do. But you can only do it when the pawn came from this starting square. So for example, let's say that we've got this and they play d5, you can't take it. It has to be, immediately this one. So for example, you can't take it because it was immediately, they played c5 in one go, just like that. They didn't play e6 and d5. Now you can't do it because they played it in two moves. And you can only do it in the next move. So for example, you can only do it now. If you play another move, you can't do it. You can't do it later. So you have to do it right when your opponent makes the move. You have to take it if you want to do it. Of course, every move that I showed you, it's not mandatory. And I guess that's the hard thing about chess. You have to think about every move. Nothing is mandatory in chess unless you're in check or something. Then you need to react. But yeah, you have to make decisions pretty much for every move. All right. There are also a few other rules, about the draw. But I guess that I will save that for the next part. I don't want to overwhelm you with too many rules, guys. Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. And please, if you made it this far, please make sure to subscribe, to like and subscribe. It really helps me a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And of course, we will have part 2, part 3. Too many parts. I don't know. I've got big plans for this series, let's say. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess that I will see you in the next one.